And we are back, folks. I know it's been a little bit longer of a break than I thought, but everybody's watching the main speakers right now in the hall next to us where Bert Moselle is talking. But I think I'm going to have a better time right now because I have Andrew Marcus, who I met about 2 months ago in Providence at a Heritage Foundation along with the Franklin Center for Journalism and Public Policy. Got a chance to chat with you, but you're here for a different reason rather than public policy or stuff that Heritage does or journalism. Well, actually, it is journalism of the kind because you received an award, a Breitbart Award, at that, and you've come out and you're now coming out with a movie called Hating Breitbart.
That's correct.
So, if you would give the listeners of our small little blog in Central New Hampshire a little bit of taste. What is Hating Breitbart? Because we know what it is, and we've actually been spurred into some action because of Andrew Breitbart. But you tell me, what's the movie about, and why should people be interested?
Well, we followed Andrew around for about 2.5 years, and basically starting from the launch of Big Government with the Acorn story, all the way up through what I refer to as the gift that keeps on giving, Wienergate. And we were behind the scenes, really, for pretty much every story that happened in between. And what we discovered was a machine of hatred that was aimed at Andrew Breitbart, but not just Andrew Breitbart. It's also aimed at the Tea Party movement, conservatives, libertarians, basically anybody who I've come to call the non-progressive alignment. Anybody who does not toe the progressive line is subject to a horrifying level of vitriol and demonizing. And that was what happened to the Tea Party, and that was what happened to Andrew Breitbart. And frankly, both of them happened at the exact same time, and their stories cross over. The stories intermingle. Andrew Breitbart's story is the story of this movement.
Oh, absolutely, because I am called a racist, homophobic, misogynist, Neanderthal, and those are the pleasant ones.
Right. That's the stuff you could say on the radio. That's right.
Well, we're not on radio. I could say more, but my mom would get really unhappy.
I don't want you to lose her as a listener.
So, and you're right. Andrew Breitbart was a magnet. As soon as he would appear at some kind of an event, it would like you throw a switch and the left would go into super steroids and then launch themselves into stupidity.
Right. We attended. It was right on line 2011. In Minneapolis, and the brilliant Eric Telford strategically placed that event directly in the same hotel.
We were there
as the Netroots Nation, the yearly the Cossacks, and that's what I loved. I love that Eric did that because he took the game to them. That was very, very Breitbart. But so we went with Andrew with our cameras in tow and walked over to the area where the Netroots were congregating. Andrew didn't have to do anything but just be there, and they went out of their minds. They lost their minds. They literally lost their minds. A gentleman by the name of Ryan Clayton, who's a Fox News contributor, who's a Huffington Post writer, absolutely went insane simply because Andrew Breitbart was present. Ryan Clayton accused him of being an Islamophobe, accused him of being a coke addict, and accused him basically of, sleeping with male prostitutes. This was one of his so-called legitimate questions for Andrew Breitbart. Have you ever slept with a prostitute? A male one? Be careful how you answer. These people became unhinged. They became unhinged simply because of his presence, and that's exactly what happened with the Tea Party. They became unhinged. You had people like the Congressional Black Caucus. You had people who, by all rights, John Lewis, a civil rights hero, okay? Regardless of what you think ideologically, that man is a civil rights hero. And he took a dump on his own legacy because he went insane because of the Tea Party. Had to lie and accuse the entire Tea Party of using the N-word 15 times at a healthcare rally. These people trashed their own incredible national legacy just because they became unhinged, because there was a group out there that had a countervailing opinion to the progressive movement.
And how much of that $100,000 that Breitbart put up as a reward for the videotape has been paid out so far?
I think approximately $0.00. I have to check my math on that, but yeah, no, they ran for the hills, and mainstream media dropped it.
Has covered it. And you know, I had an earlier interview where I brought out the same thing that I continue to do over and over and over again. At the first White House journalist dinner, whatever the real name is, Obama came out and greeted them saying, "Most of you covered me." Lots of cheers and claps and everything else. And then he added with a smile and a smirk, "All of you voted for me," and he got a standing ovation.
Right.
And from that point on, we all knew that he was in the tank. It was bad enough before the election, and that proved it. And we continue to see this because Tea Party bad, Occupy great.
Right.
Tea Party violent, Occupy peaceful.
Right.
Now, being a member, a former member, well, I should say, a co-founding member of the New Hampshire Tea Party Coalition, Granite Rock was there at the start of the movement in New Hampshire. I also went to a number of the Occupy New Hampshire meetings, which took a strange twist here in New Hampshire because a lot of libertarians showed up and Free Staters showed up and kind of drove them crazy. And now they've had a political split.
Interesting.
Oh, very interesting. Not the kind of stuff that you would see down in Boston, New York, or Oakland, and things like that. They didn't know what to make of these libertarians. But yes, Breitbart has had a big effect, and I'm assuming that anybody who followed Andrew Breitbart, and I had the privilege to interview him several times in New Hampshire and right online, along with James O'Keefe. And I will tell you personally, and for our blog site, the Hampshire's leading conservative blog site, it has had a severe impact on us because upon his death, everybody said, "Be Breitbart."
I am Breitbart, that's right.
And we have started that. So part of his legacy is that we are going to hold our government more accountable. We are throwing sand into the gearworks and various things by issuing right-to-know requests. We are telling people, you have these standard operating procedures. Why aren't you following them? And then doing a right-to-know request to back that up. And since we have friends in the legislature, we copy them on this, and then they start legislative investigations.
Let me tell you something, just based on what touching on what you just spoke about, because when Andrew Breitbart died, I was devastated. I wanted to crawl into a hole. I mean, the film was pretty much done, but I was personally leveled, you know, and I wasn't sure exactly what in the world I was possibly going to do. Not about the film, but I just was so devastated, and this movement is my hero. What you just said is what I witnessed and where I drew my strength from. When people stood up and said, "I am Breitbart, I am Breitbart," and I saw that people got it. People understood what it was that he was doing. I drew my strength from this movement's strength, and I was so impressed by that.
Croc TV.